I'm Oliver Afolabi. I just want to show you the project overview and how I have structured the project. This is the API call. The API call rests on the everything rests on the API call. This is the entering point. So I'm going to right click and set a startup project. And I'm using clean architecture for this project, and I'm using Mediator to wrap everything. So let me walk you through everything that I've done so far. This is the backend, which houses the API, the application layer, the common library layer, the domain layer, and the identity server layer, then the infrastructure layer. And this is my unit test. What I've done so far is I was able to create a book controller and a membership controller. So with the book controller and membership controller, uh, for the book controller, I I was able to get books, category, and browser, borrowing history, salvation, and lots more. Okay. From this configuration, we have uh, controller utilities. This is what I use to send a response to user. If it is 200, 201, 401, 500. Then for the old data, I'm using old data as my I'm using old data framework to pass a query to pass um, um, to allow users to be able to fetch records based on their specific needs. So if they want to fetch any record, they can use OData to fetch the record directly. So that is what I've done. Then the configuration aspect, instead of having configuration, all the configuration within the app settings, I've been able to separate it using cache. This is cache configuration, course configuration, database configuration, amplifier configuration, localization, logger, mail, middleware. Though I didn't use all of this because of the time frame that was given to me to complete the project. Then the next thing, the file basically talks about the where all the documents will be saved when it's been uploaded, and the middleware. This is the middleware that gets everything that will make requests. I mean that will fetch or scrutinize everything that is coming from end user. Then lastly, for the API call, we have the program where we set up everything that we need to set. The migration assembly, so it's going to use infrastructure as a migration assembly, and I use mediator to send requests to the application layer. Now, to send requests to the application layer, let's say for instance, I want to send requests from membership controller, which is user controller. I want to send requests to sign up, to log in, to sign up, and to third-party confirmation, to login page, to forgot password. So with this single line of code, you can send a request to the other endpoint. So lastly, I for the application layer, I set up the validation for the application layer where all validations needs to be done before I can post to my database. So the book handler, this is handler. We have command handler to handle all create and update operation, create, delete and update, and create, delete and update operations. And this will communicate with the infrastructure. This application will communicate with the infrastructure layer. So that is the pattern I've used. And the common library basically talks to every one of all the projects. That is what is common to every one of all the projects. This is where I put validation. Then for the modal validator and all data responses, the sequential grid for my identity. So authorization, then this is where I put my automapper in case you want to map user request to the model. Then the last is the domain. Domain basically is the domain basically is just the model, the entity model, and the objects, object, infrastructure rating, book category rating, distribution, borrowing subscription, and user profile. And lastly, we have identity server. This is version will validate a um, user input, user name, and the password. But I have to combine it with Microsoft ESP.NET Identity to get the job done. Then the infrastructure layer is basically talks to database layer to save and to do one migration to save the database and emails and everything that. So infrastructure handles that for me. Then lastly, this is the test. I set up a test for the infrastructure. Time will not permit me to run tests for all the method or functions that I have done. Then this is the Blazor app that I developed to test if the application is working as expected. And lastly, we have the admin, and we have the um, front end. This is React based application that we can easily run. So for me to run this, I will have to select this as as a startup project, as a startup project. Then I go to my PowerShell and run it from PowerShell. Just install admin, npm.start, npm.run, and everything will work fine. So for me to run the application for the backend, my API, I'm going to set this as a startup, of course, and let me build and publish this. If I click on browser, it's going to load browser and open the application layer. Okay, so this is the endpoint. You can have the book player. I use OData to fetch to filter by name, select, order by count, top. So whichever way the user wants it, they can easily get the information directly across. And they can post, they can execute directly, they can add post membership and more like it. Update reservation, new category, new book, and all that. Thank you.